We are talking about Elon Musk and his controversial and, quite frankly, fantastic in the correct way to use that word, fantastic purchase of Twitter.com. Shane, what the hell just happened?
I know it's funny. I mean, I know this is all over the place and people are talking about it. And, just to be very clear as to what's happening right now is Elon Musk has put an offer in to buy Twitter. The board of Twitter has accepted what his offer is. And Elon has secured financing with JP Morgan and others to actually be able to purchase it. It is not purchased yet. Let's be very clear. He hasn't bought it. It's not final, and he can still back out. It'll cost him $1 billion if he does. But because he's buying it for $44 billion, he might think of that as a drop in the bucket.
You know what would have been hilarious, though? Imagine
What's
if
that?
the stock went way up and he sold his shares to buy Twitter.
What the Twitter share, the Twitter stock?
So he bought 9.5% of it at like next to nothing, right?
Well, it wasn't next to nothing, but yeah, it's only gone up 11% since he bought it.
No, it didn't go up. Didn't it go up from like $13 to like $30?
No, not that much. It's gone up quite a bit, but not that much.
So imagine if he just sold all of his stock off and then used the. I guess it didn't go up high enough to do that.
I mean, he already gets beat up for pumping and dumping.
Yeah.
Like he gets accused of doing that, like with Doge and different things. Elon's interesting, and the reason why this is such a big deal. I mean, for people like us and people who think like we do, as far as we want free speech, Elon Musk buying Twitter is just one of the biggest things ever.
Yeah,
in this time frame.
For freedom of speech, this is a massive endeavor.
Because Twitter is basically
the town square.
It's the town square, but it's also the poster child of not free speech. When people are being banned constantly for their viewpoints or suppressed, that's something that Elon can fix. Now, but what's interesting about him buying Twitter is not so much the fact that he's going to suddenly be like, okay, he said, the far right and the far left should both be angry about this.
Yes.
They should both be upset because, what he wants to do is he wants to turn Twitter into a place where it gets rid of the bots. So every person that is verifiable could actually get a blue check mark. So that way it shows that you're a person on Twitter and not just anything.
Right.
Yeah, so you'd be able to verify. And then when you see a Twitter post from somebody with a blue check mark, that's an actual person who's been verified by Twitter as a real person.
Right. So think about this. Yeah, one of his first tweets after they accepted the offer was, I hope the people that don't like this, my objectors, stay here, and criticize me, because that's what freedom of speech is. And I'm paraphrasing, but
yeah, well, that's
a very good statement, because it's not about the far left or the far right. It's about bringing things back to the center and allowing people a proper discourse, right?
Yes.
Discourse. Yes. That's what it's about. And him saying, I'm no longer going to accept these far left methods of controlling the narrative, and I'm certainly not going to accept a far right method of controlling the narrative. I'm going to let the narrative be free on its own so that actual discourse and actual conversations are happening. And then on top of it, I'm going to make the algorithm transparent so you can see that it's not being manipulated.
Right.
And there is going to be terms of service, because obviously you can't say, anything you want and crazy stuff, but those terms of services that my TOS will be enacted, right? It'll be enforced across the board, not just for the far right or the far left. I'm sorry, whatever, far right, far left, not just for the extremes, but everyone will be policed according to the TOS and not according to what letter they have in their political affiliation. And that is amazing, because right now, there are terrorists on Twitter right now. actual terrorists, right? Actual terrorists that say horrific things are still on Twitter, but the ex-president of the United States was kicked off for inciting violence. There are actual terrorists that are saying horrific, violent things toward Americans, and they're on Twitter right now. But an ex-president of the United States said something that could be construed possibly as inciting violence, and it was removed. So that is incredible. That means that their TOS, the goalpost, they're moving the goalpost to fit their needs. And when I say there, I'm referring to the ideology, the ideology of the people in charge of Twitter. And right now, that ideology is in one camp. And people that say no, their TOS is enforced across the board is not true. If you look at all the numbers, 90+% of the people that have been removed, banned, or punished for saying something on Twitter, 90+% of those people have had a specific political affiliation, and that has been right. While the other 8%, right, were the far extreme outliers that were reported to the point where they couldn't ignore it anymore. And that is not a subjective thing. That's an objective fact. And the funniest thing about this is what started him wanting to buy Twitter is when the Babylon Bee was removed. That's when he was like, oh, should I buy Twitter?
Yeah, and that's ridiculous that the Babylon Bee was removed. But what's interesting is, you're right, this is 100% interesting. But what's interesting is being reported that they don't think Elon's going to buy it.
Right.
So they think, it's funny because Reuters just came out. Reuters is a news service. 4 years ago, Elon Musk vowed to set up a peanut brittle company to take on Warren Buffett's iconic U.S. confectioner See's Candy. Then he changed his mind. So they're saying they wouldn't be surprised if Musk's $44 billion deal to buy the social network Twitter went the same way. These things are totally not related to each other. The reason why Elon Musk, if you guys don't know anything about Elon Musk, the dude was one of the guys who invented PayPal. He's the one who came up with it with some other guys. He sold his PayPal shares and basically put all of his money into this totally losing proposition called Tesla and SpaceX and some other stuff he was doing. Not because he thought it was going to make him a ton of money. He did it because he wanted to see the technology made. Elon Musk, as much money as this guy has, doesn't care about money as much as people thinks he does.
He doesn't, man.
He doesn't really care about it.
Guy is an absolute madman.
He's not. He's on the spectrum, which is awesome. He's a different way of thinking that we should all take a note from. And let me tell you something. He takes the emotion out of it and he makes decisions. And the reason why he wants to own Twitter is because he wants to do something better for the world. He wants free speech, not only for us, but for people in other countries to see that there's free speech. And also he wants to follow the law. And that's what he said. The terms of service for Twitter will align with what the law says you can and cannot say. And if people want the law to be different, they will vote to have it removed and changed. And Twitter's TOS will change with the law as is appropriate.
Amazing. And I do not understand at all the people that object to this. Are you kidding me? Why would you possibly object? I mean, listen, if you want to,
because you would be losing power,
right? So you only object because you're losing power. But he's saying the rules of the TOS will be that of the rules, the laws that are in place. It's democracy. You can modify those laws by voting. Holy moly, that seems like an extremely logical and simple way of managing a website.
Yeah, 100% true.
Holy crap. Why didn't anyone think about that before? Oh, we did. 200 years ago, we thought about that. I don't understand why it's been an object, a subject for debate now. It's like, listen, you write your TOS to follow the rules, and then you enforce said TOS across the board, regardless
of political affiliation or belief system.
That is not a confusing thing to think. That's not confusing to anyone. And these news people coming out on CNN, MSNBC, even on Fox, saying, "Oh, hey, this is problematic because Twitter is powerful and it can sway votes. How do you feel about that? I'm like, yeah, I haven't felt good about that for 6 effing years. Are you just figuring this out right now? This is the way it's been for a decade. This is not
Guess
like
what?
a
He was
new
swaying
thing.
votes last election.
Yeah, this is not a new thing, guys. Are you kidding me?
But this has got to say, when you do something that's based on your conviction, Brian, when you do something that's conviction based like this, Elon's going to face a tremendous amount of pressure if he buys Twitter or even tries to buy Twitter. So he's got Tesla, as we're all aware of. Tesla right now recently reported incredible earnings. Okay, its future looks bright. Growth of 50% year over year for the next 5 years. And guess what the stock did when he said he was going to buy Twitter? It tanked. It dropped 13% since he said he was going to buy Twitter because people are afraid he's going to have to put Tesla on the line in order to buy Twitter. On top of that, right now, part of Tesla's success is their foothold in China in the EV market, electric vehicle market going on over there. They actually have a lot of things going on over there where they're selling Teslas. Now, Twitter historically has very poor relationship with China and stuff going on. And China has the ability to tell Elon Musk and Tesla, hey, no. You stop what you're doing on Twitter, or we're not going to let you sell EVs here in China. So he has some things, and his convictions will be tested. Now, the good news is he doesn't seem to care about money a whole lot, which is fantastic. We need somebody like this in our world today. Right. We need this type of person. We need a Nikola Tesla. That's what we need. Nikola Tesla.
Yeah. We need.
That's what we need.
So this guy is actually, Elon Musk is actually the reincarnation of Tesla.
In a lot of ways, yeah, but a Tesla that didn't end up broke because people took advantage of him. He made his own money, and then I agree with what you're saying.
So imagine if reincarnation is real. He comes in the body of a South African guy named Elon Musk, and he's like, "Oh, cool, I'm not going to make that mistake again." Oh, some guy named Edison wants to buy my tech. No, get out of here.
Yeah, and it wasn't even Edison. It was.
There's a lot more to it. I'm just being.
It was Westinghouse and that whole deal. Westinghouse is a great guy, but it just didn't work out. And but so now we have a generational mind that not only is extraordinarily wealthy, but has the ability to change the future. He's doing it.
Actively.
So, but he's going to be under pressure for sure. So,
yeah, I'm simping so hard right now for Elon Musk because the guy goes from being if you look at his history, it seems like everything he does in some way he is not just a benefit to him, or even his failed ideas. Like he has plenty of ideas that didn't work out. It seems that he's always trying to do something that's going to benefit everyone.
That's his goal.
Yeah. I want to build this tunnel, or I want to do this so that everyone in some way benefits, and he makes money doing it. Sometimes those ideas don't go anywhere. Sometimes the projects completely flop. But the bottom line is every idea he had was, I'm going to make this world somehow better with this crazy idea. And quite frankly, one reason we're here today in this world with microtransactions and super chats and all that stuff is because of what PayPal did. They broke 100%. The stranglehold that credit cards had on the planet.
Yeah, the banks, as well.
And banks. The first... not decentralized, but digital currency was a PayPal wallet. It's a very interesting thing.
PayPal was the groundbreaking company, and that's all part of him. And now he's moved on. And so, anyways, I don't know if you like or don't like Elon Musk. He is kind of flighty. He tends to say things off the cuff, but at the same time, it seems like as long as he stays maintained and focused on the future, it seems like this can only be a good thing for not only us, but the rest of the world.
Someone was like, "Oh, Elon Musk should run for president." I'm like, "No,
absolutely not.
No one that actually has the ability to change things for the better should be a politician."
No, because politicians end up politicians can't accomplish anything without other politicians, allowing them to, essentially.
Right. So yeah, their hands are tied the second they become a politician.
Presidents are not supposed to just make rules.
No, yes.
We've allowed them to do this for quite some time because nothing happens unless a president does these things. But ideally, a president should not just make rules for himself.
any president,
Any
regardless of political affiliation, should not be pulling out a pen and making a sweeping rule or change to anything.
Right.
Holy crap.
Unless it's an emergency or some sort of.
Unless it's an emergency. We don't have time to go through the regular channels. China's attacking the West Coast. Mr. President, not, hey guys, I really think that the color of the flag should actually be this. I'm just going to make that happen. What the hell? Yeah, that's insane. That's
been happening for a long time, but yeah.
Yes, it has been. It wasn't just with Trump or Biden. It's been happening for a very long time.
Been happening for a long time. Too many years.
Yeah. Someone take the pens away. No more pens. Okay, guys, that's it. We're done talking about Elon Musk. Let us know in the comment section what you think about Elon Musk. And hit on the way to that said comment section, please hit that subscribe button and that like button and all the other little buttons. We love you. See you tomorrow.